Holy shnikes. It has been a minute. What's up? Welcome back to Mad Human, the show about advertising, marketing, and business in the age of AI, where we keep it real and keep it human on the digital frontier. I'm your host, Rezi, El Rezerino, or Atanasio Juarez, if you're not into the whole brevity thing. And yeah, we last did an episode of Mad Human, I think back on October 3rd. We've been gone for 6 months. And in a normal world, 6 months is like a season, but in the AI world, it's a geological epoch. The entire landscape has been redrawn, rewritten, and in some cases completely started over. So today we're going to do things a little bit differently and welcome you back by blowing through the previous 6 months of AI history in a few minutes. And then we're going to do a deep dive into the biggest story of the year so far. That perfectly encapsulates really what this show started off being all about, which was trying to keep the human element alive as this pace of AI and tech innovation just escalates and escalates. It just gets faster and faster. And we're going to talk about that as well. So, wow, it's incredible to be doing this again. And we moved offices. My company, Eterna AI, has grown since, October. It's just been a lot. So we got a lot to talk about. And because we were, gone for that long, of course, there's a ton of stuff to catch up on. But in that time, one company literally took a stand that could change everything about this space. And that kind of came to a culmination this week. So a big reason for us to start pushing out more episodes here for you guys and keep you up to date with all things and all conversations and the important news going on in the world of AI. So keep it locked right here. You're watching Mad Human. All right, we're going to do this really quick, like ripping off a Band-Aid, and we'll go over what you guys missed in the past 180 days. I mean, missed or maybe just didn't hear about. I don't know. We do this weekly show to keep you caught up in all of the news and important conversations in AI. And let's get right to it. October, November, when we took our hiatus, or that we started to, there was a product that rolled out called OpenClaw. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but it began this clawification of everything. And that agent wars got real back in November. Every company on Earth was launching some kind of chatbot that could now do things. And it was less about answering questions and more about running actual tasks. So the line between software and employee started to get real blurry. That led us into December, where AI went full mainstream consumer. ChatGPT hit 400 million weekly users, and your grandma even started using it to start writing her emails. And officially, the AI is here holiday season commenced. January, the great AI job shuffle continued and escalated. We saw the first major companies start replacing entire job functions with AI agents. Not just tasks. So the conversation shifted from, will AI take our jobs, to, okay, what parts of my job are already gone? February, man, there was some big moves in February last month. OpenAI signed a deal with the Department of Defense. The internet predictably lost its mind. And ChatGPT uninstalls surged 295% in a single day. Sam Altman called out the rollout himself and referred to it as opportunistic and sloppy. And it was pretty much a masterclass in how to not handle ethical AI. And that brings us right into March, right? In like a lion, out like a lion, it seems like. This month has literally changed everything in the space. So we really needed to get back on and talk to you guys and keep people updated. And I know there's probably maybe, 20 of you that are actually reaching out. Thank you to bring the podcast back. So here we are. This month, we got 5 new frontier models in 23 days. So unlike any other month in the past 2 years of being very deeply embedded in this space, we saw ChatGPT 5.4, we saw Gemini 3.1, Grok 4.20, and the gap between these big labs compressed from a matter of years to a matter of weeks. NVIDIA's GTC conference confirmed that agentic AI is like now mainstream in enterprise. And OpenAI killed the Sora app. R.I.P. I was a Sora fan, actually, and had some good fun with the Sora app when it was alive. But their video model that runs behind the app and orchestrates everything, they deemed it economically irreconcilable. So the compute costs alone were just killing them. So it was a bloodbath of innovation and a brutal reality check all at once, which brings us into this week and the one story that matters more than all of the others combined. Next up is our deep dive into that story. All right, this is the one. This is the story that defines keeping it real on the digital frontier. This week, a federal judge named Rita Lynn did something extraordinary. She stood up to the Pentagon and the Trump administration to protect an American AI company. That company was Anthropic, the guys behind Claude. Here's the backstory. Last summer, Anthropic signed a $200 million contract with the Pentagon. The standoff actually started happening back then, and the deal went south. The Department of Defense wanted to use Anthropic's Claude for things like fully autonomous weapons and surveillance of American citizens. And they wanted to do it with no strings attached. So when Anthropic said no, they insisted on writing human oversight requirements into the contract. And they took a stand. They said, our AI will not be used to create killer robots, period. And then, the government's response, they didn't just cancel the contract, they retaliated. They branded Anthropic a supply chain risk, which is a label that's usually reserved for foreign adversaries like China. They tried to cripple the company. President Trump himself ordered all federal agencies to stop using Anthropic tech. And this is where it starts to get good, right? Anthropic didn't just roll over for once. They sued the administration. And this week, they won. The judge issued an injunction blocking the Pentagon's designation. And in her own words, literally, her words are everything here, Judge Rita Lynn wrote, quote, nothing in the governing statute supports the Orwellian notion that an American company may be branded a potential adversary and saboteur of the U.S. for expressing disagreement with the government. Yeah, Orwellian. A federal judge used the word Orwellian to describe the Pentagon's actions. So here's what bothers me the most about this. While Anthropic was taking a stand on ethics, OpenAI was doing the opposite. Their quote-unquote sloppy deal with the DoD, or DOW, whatever it is now, had no clear ethical lines drawn, and it caused a massive user backlash. And that's why we saw up to almost 300% spikes in uninstalls immediately afterwards. People were pissed. And this is kind of like the fork in the road for AI. On one side, you have the OpenAI model, move fast, break things, apologize later. And on the other, you have Anthropic's model, which was build responsibly from the start, even if it costs you a $200 million contract. As a dyed-in-the-wool optimist, as I am still, I am net bullish on the Anthropic model. And that's because they proved this week that ethics aren't a liability. They're a competitive advantage. Microsoft, retired military chiefs, even a group of Catholic theologians, they filed briefs in support of Anthropic, and the market and the courts are rewarding responsibility right now. This is what keeping it real looks like, keeping it human. It's not a tagline. It's about making the hard choices in this space to put human values over profit and power. And for the first time, we're seeing that it might actually be good for business as well. Next up, let's get into the headlines. We're going to do this quick, and then I've got your Friday high five, and then I got to get out of here, okay? Okay, we'll get into this week's headlines now. And while the courtroom drama was unfolding for Anthropic, the rest of the AI world didn't stop, okay? Here's what else you need to know from this week. First, the $350,000 ad. A video dropped on YouTube this morning showing a production quality ad that would normally cost $350,000 to make, and it was made with one AI tool. No cameras, no crew, no budget, just a tool called Higgsfield Cinema Studio. And this is literally the Kalshi moment of 2026. I don't know if you remember, like our first episode, we were talking about this Kalshi ad in March Madness. And yeah, the creative industry is about to get another major shock to its system with this thing coming out. Second, the rise of the agent boss. Microsoft's latest work trend index dropped, and they've coined the new term agent boss. This is a role where your job isn't to do work, but merely to manage the AI agents that are doing the work. And for over a year now, that's what we've been doing here at Aterna AI. But for marketers, this means you're not running campaigns anymore. You're orchestrating a team of agents that do the research, the testing, and the reporting. And like I said, here at Eterna, that's exactly what we've been doing and building for our clients. Custom AI agents that become part of your team and literally like put the future in your hands. It's not something that is out there like somewhere in the horizon. It's happening right now. We've been doing it for almost a year now. Third story, SEO is dead. Okay. Like marketing profs confirmed this week that we've all been feeling this feeling that traditional SEO is over. Well, we confirmed it. Over 60% of searches now end with a click or without a click because AI gives you the answer directly. So what this means is the new game is generative engine optimization, or GEO. It's not to be confused with Geo, which I think is like a weird card brand from like the 80s. It's like a Geo Metro. Am I losing my mind? Wasn't that a thing? At any rate, it's not about ranking number one on Google anymore. It's about getting your brand cited as a source in the AI's answer. And this means creating content with proprietary data and a unique expertise that gives you more of like a context moat. And that's something that AI just can't replace. So that's why it leans on it with its results when it's being queried, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. If you're watching this, you probably know a little bit about the space. I don't know. Hopefully. All right, that's it of our headlines for this week, and we're going to get right into our Friday high five. All right, 5 things that you can do over the weekend here to just kind of keep your AI journey going, to learn a new tool, to have an interesting conversation. If you're interested in AI, these are 5 things that you can take with you over the weekend here to get yourself into the next week with a little bit more knowledge, hopefully, and a little bit more experience, expertise, whatever, what have you. Okay. First up, something to watch. Go watch that $350,000 ad. I'm telling you right now, Hicksfield's Cinema Studio is incredible. I've been playing around with Sora since it came out, but this is next level stuff. So I'll link it in the description, and you can get a glimpse into like the immediate future of content creation. Number 2, something to listen to. I would say find a podcast that breaks down the Anthropic versus Pentagon case. The All In podcast that I listened to did a great segment on it. Understanding like the legal and ethical arguments here, I think, is crucial if we're going to keep things human and keep it real in AI. Number 3, go try out Gemini 3.1 Ultra. It's got a 2 million token context window. That's double the other models that are out right now. And it has native multimodal reasoning. You can give it a PDF or an image or a video, throw something at it and ask it to create, I don't know, a marketing campaign or a deck, and test to see how it works for you and see what it can do, how powerful it is. Number 4, something to reflect on. I would say, think about this agent boss thing, right? It's a concept that we've been kind of, religiously pitching to our clients and our leads, that it's not going to be about like a singular agent or orchestration agent. It's going to be about the human in the loop that controls what agents are serving in what roles for your business. 5 tasks in your business right now that you could delegate to an AI agent. I say write them down. And the first step is just like kind of redesign the workflow around that and then get those agents established. If you have any questions about that or need some help in kind of orchestrating that, you can reach us anytime, eterna.ai. And last but not least, number 5, share this conversation, okay? We need to be at the table. I think if you're interested in AI and you're using it as an application for your business or your enterprise or your family, you're creating things, maybe you started a new business recently and you're using AI to help you do that, I would say dig deep into the AP News article about the Anthropic court ruling with somebody in your industry, somebody in your company, and just start the conversation about AI ethics. It's going to be really important, I think, in the very near future that we continue to serve a role and we're at the table and that conversation is happening, not just the elites and not just the ultra wealthy that are creating and profiting from these models. So that's your high five for this return broadcast of MADHUMAN. It's good to be back. Full disclosure, I lost a very close friend this week, and I'd like to dedicate this episode to him. He was always very adamant about me continuing to do the podcast and to get out here and talk to people and answer questions. And yeah, I've known him for the majority of my life. He's a great guy. So rest in peace, Big Mike. We'll be thinking about you over the weekend and your family. And yeah, life is short. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it human. Here we are. It's March 27th. We survived 6 months of chaos and no podcasts. We've got AI models being born and dying in the same month sometimes. We've got companies taking a moral stand and winning in court. We've got the very definition of marketing and advertising creativity being rewritten in real time. It's a lot to digest. I get it. It's overwhelming. But again, that's that dyed-in-the-wool optimist of me inside that remains net bullish on AI. And probably more now than ever before, just being able to see just what 6 months could do in terms of progress. And because this week, we saw that the human element, our ethics, our judgment, our courage to say no, is becoming the most valuable asset in this entire ecosystem. And so technology will always be accelerating, but I think it's our humanity that gives us the power to direct it and to give it direction. And that's something that no AI can replicate. So that's it for our show for this week. We'll be back next week, get things rolling here into the summer months. It's good to be back. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Like I said, if you watch the other episodes, kudos. If this is your first time seeing Mad Human, come back next week, share, like, subscribe, all that YouTube crap. We'll be doing this all summer. So podcast and a show about all of these important stories, headlines, and deep dives into what's going on in the world of AI. So once again, I'm your host, Rez, and you've been watching Mad Human. Make sure you stay human out there.